rider. This is the farmer, and this is where you need ultimate traction. Because the monster is incredibly strong. But I remember getting to this point on the way down and reaching the side of the lift because this is a really easy bit. Yeah, like now. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. Absolutely zero fucking power. What I'm going to have to do is go back downhill and take a run at it with no luggage. But basically it's because I'm using a carbureted motorcycle, because it can't adjust for the altitude automatically. If you know about engines, you know what I mean. I've really bent my clutch lever good and proper, that's not a problem. And I've bent the gear lever as well. And then you come up, I mean it doesn't look steep at all in the video. That bit isn't steep. When you get to the end of this section it gets incredibly steep, but it's also all off-road as well. Try not to go off the edge. That wouldn't be cool for anybody, especially me. So the bike feels extraordinarily lighter. But the beauty of doing this on an old bike, even though it doesn't have the fuel injection technology, not paying attention, getting tired, and also kind of not really enjoying having to make video. Oh fuck! Oh my goodness, I'm so tired. And as I actually said when I came around this corner up here, I could feel that the bike didn't have enough power. Okay, I'm really giving it a handful now. Look at that. It's literally full RPM. With the tank bag is hanging off, which is why it's hitting the... Yeah, look at that. I'm looking at 1500 RPM, 5 miles an hour. I can't get any more power out of the bike. Yeah, lesson learned, Ed. Listen to your fucking instincts, mate. Don't ask people questions when you should know yourself. I've got one hell of a job to get my luggage up here now, but the bike would never have carried it. It's phenomenal that the bike is doing this at all. Okay. I mean, yeah, it goes up to 11,000 RPM. No problem. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is what you're up against in the Spanish Pyrenees documenting abandoned villages. The reason why I did this was because the last time the bike made it on standard gearing, it did bog down, but only for a moment. And putting a bottle of Red X in is not going to clear gummed up carbs, because they're not gummed up, they're incredibly clean. And the bike runs beautifully normally on the flat, but you know, imagine taking a motorbike to the top of Mount Snowdon in Wales, an old carbureted bike. It's probably making 90 horsepower maximum, maybe 80 horsepower at the rear wheel, but 47 foot-pounds of torque, which is nothing at all. So I've got up the worst bit. Even the next bit I might not be able to get up full of luggage, but I'm going to walk my luggage up here now, which will take a while. It's incredibly hot. It's 28-30 degrees, no problem. Here we go. Okay, much easier now. Just go around those large rocks when you've got one that's still straight. Now, the chapel we can see from below. Okay. Now, I might not actually be able to park the bike down there for one reason only. Which is very dry. Oh my god, this is tiring. I just need an assistant. Yeah, an assistant doesn't want to come off a bike, that's for sure. So I'm going to gear it appropriately, or get a bigger bike and gear that appropriately. But, come on, you can't really beat this, can you? Okay, this is a chapel. On the way to... I'm not going to give the name of my friend's village because I don't want it to be overrun with people wanting to check it out. You can, it's legal to walk there. There's no reason why you can't spend a few nights there. But he doesn't just want anybody. Occasionally motocross riders turn up, make a lot of noise and stop to say hello, and he's very welcoming. But normally you can ride right up to here, right up literally to the doorstep in the winter. The scenery is absolutely breathtaking, and this is a very intact chapel. And by the time I've uploaded video of my journey to see Martin, you'll see what people are up against. I mean, come on. So if we look down, you can see the next nearest village, which is still inhabited. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? That is actually the background, in the background of a photograph I took of my Honda CBR F2 the first time I came here, which Affinity Software used for a blog about my work online. I could probably leave a link to that later on. But anyway, I can see a metal cross to Miguel Costel Moore. Let's have a quick look. I don't think this is closed. I guess that's kind of like a font. So what does it say here? So la Iglesia del Núcleo de Santa Eulalia Potencio Dalabad. Can't quite see. It's okay. We can go inside. Oh my word. Isn't this great? How cool it is inside. There's a font in the corner here. So this is why I've come back to Spain. It was a wooden cross with Jesus on it. But almost every abandoned village has got its own chapel, and some are still intact. And excuse my deep breathing. Every day, back in Colchester, my hometown, I do a 2.5 mile walk, and I fly around that every evening without breaking my stride, non-stop, never out of breath. But your health goes off after just 3 days. Sorry, I don't mean your health, your fitness. And it really does. So I'm a little bit breathless, and of course it's the altitude. I blame it on the altitude. So, onwards and alongwards. To my right, nobody's coming. No donkeys or goats or farmers or sheep. Now listen to the revs. I'm doing 2,000 RPM. Ride along on normal road, go around roundabouts and top of the working the swing down. It doesn't quite work. So I'm going to go to the side now. In case they can come on. Yeah, so that's all it takes. Quite unnecessary. I didn't have to go so fast, but you've got to keep the fucking momentum up. So the iPhone has got a mind of its own. Still doesn't want to record when I want it to. But I managed to get the bike up. So the track goes off up to the left. At one point it evens out and then it starts to drop down to the village. But coming back it's all mostly downhill and it's not a problem. You can just use gravity to move. incredibly dry. This is just a really good workout. Keeps you incredibly fit, and it gives the bike more character. So what I did, I couldn't lift the bike up as it was because it was at the wrong angle. So basically what you do is you grab hold of a back or a front tyre and you pull on it until you get it to the angle that you want. So it's lying on its side, you pull it and it's pivoting on the fairing, so it's scratching it all up, which is not a problem on this bike. Unfortunately, the cable ties for my Ukrainian first aid kit have snapped, so that's come off. I'll have to put that back on in the next few days. And again, not a problem, absolutely not a problem. Just the bike's all scratched up, but it's another amazing adventure. Okay, I'm gonna leave a video running and I'm going to just pack the bike up again. So yeah, I took the wrong line. I went right instead of left. I'll actually show you. If you're sitting there at home sniggering and smirking. So I came up these steps here, these rocky steps, when I should have come up that side, but of course the danger is that if you still come off, then you could potentially have a bike go upside down, only off the lip of the edge. But if it's down, then you're going to have to pull the wheels to pull it back onto the track, then get it upright, otherwise you'll never do it. I mean, the bike was fully fueled. But yeah, I should have come up this side. Instead I came up the inside, as you can see, and it's got a lot of loose boulders, but never mind. Yep. So I came up this side and I hit here, which got the front wheel in the air, and then again, and then lost control. The left saddlebag is really hanging off now. It's actually going to be rubbing against the tyre if I'm not careful, so I have to reposition that. I mean, you're going to have to take my word for this, but I've been here 3 times before and rode non-stop the whole way. I admit that when I did leave the second time on the Yamaha XT660, I did drop it in the snow 3 times, but only because I'm just going to turn around and make sure I've got everything. So I dropped it 3 times in the snow with the Yamaha, simply because, and this will sound like an excuse to you, so that's the handle. That's basically when I turn the handlebars, the horn switch hits the shitty Krieger tank bag. That's an endorsement, isn't it? Shitty tank bag. The bike's running TKC80s right now, and they are the absolute best tyres ever. But the Yamaha, I was leaving in snow in December 2000, I think it was late November 2021. It came off simply because there was no grip. I just slipped off. Wow, it was a really steep bit now. This doesn't look good. No, don't you dare drop it, Ed. As soon as you drop it, you're fucked. As soon as you drop it, you're fucked, because you got to take all your luggage off. Okay, so I had to have a sit down, have a drink of water, because I had zero energy. Just had to have a sit down for about a quarter of an hour. I mean, whatever I video, it's not gonna show the true extent of how steep it is and how gravelly and stony it is. No excuses. I mean, I have done this before 3 times and never had any problems, apart from coming off when I was returning, which is a lot easier returning, coming back down in snow with TKC 70s, which are more road biased tyres, and it was hard to pick it up. I had to take all the luggage off, and it was a very tall bike. This is a lot lower, but you just got to get it at the right angle to lift it back up again. So I'm leaving the luggage off because it's a lot of weight, and again, it's not too much weight. This is what I carry, this is what I need to do my work and to live off the bike. It's not ridiculously heavy. You know, there are some people I know who I meet and they have nothing to say to me. They're not very good at conversation, you know, and it's just like, oh, you're carrying a lot of luggage on that, wow, you'll be, you know, carrying the kitchen sink next. And it's just like, can you just talk about something else, please? You know, just like think of something else that's a bit more interesting and less picky. Now, you know, you see a lot of people going around the world with loads of stuff hanging mess off the bike. My bike isn't that messy. I've got it really well structured. The fact of the matter is, I'm on a Spanish Pyrenees mountainside with an underpowered bike, which is designed for, well, it's got power, but it's got power in the wrong place. It's got power for going around a racetrack at very high speed. I need low down power, and I don't have that. So look, I've got the tent on, the tank bag, which has got all my tools in, and I've got 2 side bags. Now I'm going to try and get up this incline, and all the stuff you've got down there is probably half of my luggage. So it's my yellow food bag, there's a red bag with 30 euros. Well, it did have 30 euros worth of food in. I don't know if you can call it food now. And then there's a main bag which has got sleeping bags and a sleeping mat, that kind of thing, all my cameras. So I'm going to be leaving a good 30 kilos of weight off a bike, and hopefully I'll get up this incline. It's very loose, very gravelly. And then, I mean, it doesn't look that bad at all, does it? But believe me, 30 degrees of heat can make so much difference. In the winter, when it's really nice and chilly, you can really feel the engine making a lot of power, because the cold air is denser than warm air, and when it's being pushed into the engine and compressed, it's basically combusting better, it's making more power. I'd love to know how much horsepower. So what I've got to do is just get to the top, and there's no more inclines after this. It levels out, and then it goes downhill a bit to the village. Okay, the deal is, I managed to get the bike finally. Up to the apex. Sorry, I'm calling it the apex. It's I managed to get it up to the very highest point of a trail. Crazy, absolutely crazy day. This has taken hours. Instead of taking it takes 20 minutes to ride from nearest village up this trail. And that's what it's taken me in the past. But this time, it's taken, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. I think I've come off a bike 3, if not 4 times. But I'm looking at the village right now. So we're going to get, as they say in California, a pink moment in a minute. Just go wide angle. So just it's just a bit of a tease really. It was just a really lovely, big, smooth area. This corner is it's got a great view in both directions. One of where I've come from, and then pan around to the village nestled down there. Hopefully the clutch isn't fried. It just needed to be adjusted. I don't know why it went so incredibly tight. Maybe I've cooked it and it's swollen or something, I don't know. But I'm going to get back on the bike now and ride down to the village. I mean, this is much easier going. There's some noise coming from a bike that I haven't heard before. Something's rubbing or something, but I don't know. It could be my I mean, the first time I came out here on the CBR, it was a warning to me that the bike almost didn't make it. And then with altered gearing, but much warmer weather. I wonder what a pro mechanic would say about this. I think that much warmer air has made the engine less powerful. And coming up in snow, this is the corner I came off on the XT660, and I climbed up the bank on the right to take a photograph of it. This is just, I mean, I know everything's overgrown because of the summer, but everything's much gnarlier this trip for some reason. This is my 4th visit. I keep on saying it, I know, I'm like got a needle stuck on a record. And this is much easier going now. I've replaced the clutch lever, and that doesn't explain why the clutch cable was so incredibly tight. You could barely pull the lever in. No doubt somebody will tell me. And this was a little bit of a job to get up in the snow the last time. A little bit of wheel spin. But you see, this isn't bad at all. It's like the first bit, which is basically going up and up and up and up and up on really loose stone, which is really hard work. And then this bit, some river boulders, or river pebbles as I call them. And then this goes to sand and mud. Bit squirrely. I mean, we'll go over a bridge in a moment, which when I left the first time on the CRF250, which was such a cool little bike, it sipped fuel. It was like a little tiny mountain goat on steroids, and it was just go anywhere you pointed it. Ooh, fuck, that didn't feel good. But I decided to sell it because I thought I was going to go back to America, and I didn't. And it was like, well, I've got my motorbike, I've sold it now, but I sold it just at the point where it would have depreciated a lot more because I bought it new. So basically I lost about In 3 years I lost 1100 quid on it from buying it new. And so I got 1100 quid's worth of use out of it in 3 years, which I think is very good. But when I came over the bridge, when I left the first time I was here, there was a massive flood. That's a great view of the village. I should go back a little bit. I need to take a photograph of that. It just looks beautiful. Round the next bend is a bridge. It's a concrete bridge. I've been over it when it's frozen. I've been over it when it's not knee deep, but up to your front axle on a 21-inch front wheel. So that's about, what, a foot deep? Some spring water coming out there. I mean, in the past when I've been here, it's taken 45 minutes to fill an 8-litre container. So this is the bridge that's been absolutely torrential torrents going across and quite difficult to navigate. But we're nearly there now. I did send Martin an email earlier just to say I'm halfway there. I thought he might have walked out to meet me, but he's probably got better things to do than somebody coming to disturb his peace and quiet. Although I did say I was coming out here in November, then changed my mind and went to Florida. And then the weird thing was, I was thinking, okay, I've had enough of America, I'm going to go back to Britain. I'm going to design a next magazine, put that in the shop, and then I'm going to go and photograph Martin and then more abandoned villages. And I was sitting in Miami airport leaving America feeling a little bit dysfunctional and fed up, and I got an email out of the blue from him, and he probably emails once every year and a half or 2 years, and it was just like, oh wait, I'm expecting to see you, Ed, looking forward to seeing you. I was like, that was cool. That was an inspiring email. It was just at this point, last time I was here, I helped Martin chop lots of firewood. He's able to use solar to charge up an electric chainsaw, which works really effectively. I mean, what a great idea. You're remote, you're off grid. You get an electric chainsaw, you charge it up, you go out, you sharpen the blade, sharpen the saw, the chain, cut loads of firewood, come back, you do that every day, every couple of days. You don't have to pay for much apart from oil to lubricate the chain and also a new chain when it goes blunt. It was a tiny little thing, but he was very efficient with it. But this is what I love about the work that I do. Just getting out to remote places that have loads of history and not many people come to. And then you don't have to hear, you can't hear cars, fucking cars, non-stop. Like the town I come from, it's grown so much, it's like quadrupled in size since I was a kid. And it's just non-stop traffic. Where I put my tent at night, you can hear cars literally all night, every 10 minutes. There might be one point during a night for 2 hours when you don't hear anything at all. But yes, you do get planes coming overhead, but planes are so modern these days you barely hear them. Not like in the 70s. I remember at boarding school, even planes that were 30,000 feet in the air or more, they were incredibly noisy. Anyway, the bike is fine now, but we're on the level, it's flat. And when I leave, I don't have to climb with the bike too much, so I'll be able to get out, but it's a huge lesson for me. You know, I need somebody who sees it, who's got mechanical know-how to say, yes, warm air, 30 degrees warmer than freezing. Like, let's say it's 30 degrees today. That's really going to affect the performance. Anyway, on some motorcycle vlogs, they have great cameras, like really high quality 4K, 8K, no vibration, great microphones, people talking. But here we are. So I ride down, and then I've got some explaining to do. And Martin will think I'm crazy. But as I've said before, the last time I turned up on the bike, he said he never thought in his life, or whilst he lived here, he would ever see a sports bike turn up. It is possible. Very tall grass. It's beautiful, just so untouched. You can see where he's been walking through here. It's wonderful. And obviously in winter, this is absolutely short as anything grass. Really short grass. So it's just easy to ride down, you can see where you're going. So let's see on this fourth visit exactly what's been going on. Oh, there's a nice little keyring here. Oh, the four-wheel car is gone. It's just a shame about vibrations with the camera and the bike. I'll turn the bike around, ready for when I leave. There's the moon out, about 3/4 full. What an incredible day. So that was just 9 minutes to get from the top of the trail, and I guess it would have taken only 10 minutes to get to that point.